1 and 2 sexual.
You are now listening to I'm Just a Girl.
Condom if you plan on participating in any sexual activity.
You are now listening to I'm Just a Girl on KUCI 88.9 FM with me, your host, the one, the only, Hannah McCarthy.
And I don't know, I'm just a girl.
Good morning, yappers. Welcome back to the I'm Just a Girl show on KUCI 88.9 FM. And this week was wild. I managed to go from Santa Barbara to San Diego in under 24 hours, and we had some fun. This week was a very silly week. I want to say a happy birthday to my roommate Sydney. I think we threw a very successful 21st for her. So sit back, relax, get ready to start your day, get into all the juicy details, drama, and the latest gossip. You won't want to miss this. And I just want to say, I'm going to start off our Monday on a high note. It is so incredibly beautiful outside. Can we talk about this? And maybe because I'm still riding a high from being at a concert last night, where the vibes were just so good. But the vibes this morning are impeccable. Phenomenal, may I say. Last week we had a full moon in Aries. And if you're not a zodiac sign person like me, you know what? It's totally fine. I understand. Just let me be me. If I decide to believe in it, it's fine, guys. Just let me live, okay? So we have a lot to get into. I feel like I had a pretty interesting week, and we have some pop culture stuff, of course. We start off our morning with a little pop culture on a Monday. I began to loathe the pop culture segment because it's always so, sad and depressing every time, and I just want to be silly and goofy and yap with you guys on the I'm Just a Girl show and not be sad. But we have to get through this because, gotta stay up to date with the news, okay? You gotta be in with the kids. So, that actually, I don't know why, every time I come on air, every time I'm live, I say the weirdest sayings that I never say. Anyways, I swear I'm not 50 years old, I'm only 20, and let's get into that. Because I am so youthful, I am full of youth, youthful me, yes, youthful Hannah, I was discriminated against because I am young. Because I am young for my age, or I'm younger than my peers, I was discriminated against. And I want to get into that, okay? I'm mad about this and I want to talk about that. But that's for later, okay? That's after our break. Let's talk about Ethel Cain. Now, also, I drank a coffee this morning, and I feel like that's really important to disclose that information to you guys, because I drink coffee, not very often. It's a rare thing for me. I'm not a caffeine intaker, My body is a temple, and I choose to not pollute it with caffeine. But I drank a coffee this morning because I had to get up at 6:30, went to bed at 2, so it was necessary. And you know what? I think it's putting in its work right now. Will it put in its work for class when I fall asleep in lecture? We shall see. Okay, Ethel Cain. If anybody doesn't know who Ethel Cain is, she makes amazing music. You might know her hits such as American Teenager, Crush. I feel like I've played some of her music on air before. I definitely have, because I love her songs. But she made a post on either Tumblr or Reddit, and she basically was just saying, younger people, specifically generation, I think Gen Alpha is too young for this, and I would like to ignore them for this. This is my safe space and my safe time, and I would like to ignore Gen Alpha just for right now because, well, they scare me. I'm terrified of them. As somebody who teaches kids, I'm so terrified of them. I have asked so many times to please explain what skibbity, toilet, Ohio Riz means. Use it in a sentence. Is it a good or bad thing? How would you use it? If someone did something, when would you use it? And no answers can be found. And that terrifies me, because I'm just filled with curiosity. Anyways, so she made a post on either Reddit or Tumblr saying, our generation doesn't take anything seriously anymore. And I think what she meant is her album is a concept album, but it also deals with a lot of themes that happened to her in her life. She grew up in a really, really tiny, teeny tiny town where there's only 2,000 people or something. And also fact check this. I have said so many times, the I'm Just a Girl show is not where you go for cold, hard facts. I do minimal research, and if I do research, it's probably going to be on TikTok, and I'm not afraid to mention that. I'm not afraid to admit that, okay? I'll admit my faults. I am, I'm nothing if not honest. Anyway, so she made like a concept album, and it dealt with like a lot of religious trauma, the trauma she had from growing up in her small town. I think her dad or something was a priest, and it's a concept album, and it kind of has to do with like the Cain and Abel story, and it's kind of about this man that lures this girl, and and he like eats her. He's a cannibal. And listen to the album. It's an amazing piece of art. I love concept albums. Tyler Creator's new concept album is coming out on October 28th, and I could not be more excited. We can talk about that later, because I understand that concept too, more than this. But basically, people would tweet to her after she released this album, was like, oh girl, you ate just like that guy ate that girl, or oh you served just like that girl was served up on a platter for that guy to eat, like stuff like that. And if I like just went off of the headline, I probably would not agree with her and be like, oh, that's so annoying that you're saying that, like just another millennial coming to attack Gen Z or something like that. That's what I would think. But then I did research. Okay, the one time I actually did research into it, and I actually agree with her. I do think that our generation takes things maybe a little bit too silly. And I would like to point out that when I was in Santa Barbara, and we will talk about the trip, but when I was in Santa Barbara, these people had this flag, and it said, ain't no party like a Diddy party. And they also said that they were paid to stand outside, like $20 an hour to stand outside and hold that flag, like on like the streets of DP, like while people are walking by and like going into parties, like they were paid to hold that flag. And at first, like when I saw it, I kind of laughed, like, oh, it's funny. But then after reading that, like reading Ethel Cain's post, I was like, maybe we do make too many jokes about stuff. Maybe it's not funny. And why do we feel so comfortable to laugh about something like the Diddy stuff and make jokes about it? Because those were like heinous acts. And then Landon Barker, who's Travis Barker's son, Travis Barker is the drummer for Blink-182, he went to the club, and he went to a Diddy themed party in the club, and I was like, why is this normal? Why have we decided that this is normal? And yes, the jokes are funny. Like, yes, the like 100 bottles of baby oil jokes are funny. But if we like, okay, take a step back and then look at it from like a bird's eye view, it's kind of really messed up that we joke about this stuff. And maybe I saw people in the comments make like comparisons to, oh, maybe because of COVID, and we laugh about things, we make jokes about things that are dark as a way to cope. And I think that's totally normal, and I think it's okay. I'm not the internet police, so I'm not saying you can't do any of this. I do not care. It does not affect my life one way or another. I just think maybe we should reflect more. And also, like, Liam Payne sadly just passed away, and people were making jokes because he fell off of the third story of a building, and people were like, oh, you went the wrong way. Like, he went the way, like, he like went off instead of like walking the other way. Or like, oh, he's like, I don't know, they're just making jokes about it. And I feel like people need to remember, like, this guy had like a child. He's a 7-year-old child who now that child no longer has a father. So I feel like maybe we shouldn't be so, maybe we should keep jokes to like the friend group, because I am a strong, like, you make kind of messed up jokes in your friend group. We all do. Okay, we all do. I think it's hilarious. The things we say is not for the internet, okay? Not to go on the internet. Keep the jokes within the friend group, within that trusted circle. Not for the internet. And also, sometimes I think it's hard for us to, like, conceptualize or really grasp things if it hasn't directly happened to us. It's hard for us to, like, empathize, which is kind of messed up. But that's just kind of like my point of view. And I think I can understand as an artist you don't want to, like, because I think she said, like, I think Ethel Cain said it makes her not want to release music as much anymore, just because you put out this really serious piece of work, right? You work like for years on it. Like you pour your heart and your soul into this. Like every lyric is meticulously thought out. You're telling a story that deals with themes that like deeply disturb you, but you just feel like you need to put that out there, and like that's your art kind of. And I know that artists say like art is like their child. You put that out there for the world, and then you get like, and I feel like if it was like a couple tweets you would think was funny, it's constantly everyday tweets that just like kind of belittle the music. And I could see why she's like, I don't know if I want to keep releasing music if everything's just gonna be funny, because I didn't put it out there to be funny. I put it out there to be like appreciated. I didn't put it out there to like be a joke. And yes, if you're going to make an album about cannibalism, yes, our generation is going to make jokes, but also I feel like it's totally valid for her to like be annoyed by that. You know, there's like two sides of the coin. Like two things can be correct. Yes, everybody's allowed to make jokes, and like, yeah, the jokes are funny, I'll admit. Like I do laugh. But she's also allowed, like, as the artist, to be upset by that. To be like upset that her work is not being appreciated in the way she meant it to be. That's my take on it. I feel like I did not take one breath during that whole rant. But that's my take on it. Now, we're gonna talk about something else. This made me so angry. Like, actually so angry. And if you have TikTok, I'm sure you've seen the Under the Influence podcast. It has, like, people like Viet, Esther, some other couple dudes. It's, like, these people, and a lot of them are Asian, and it's a podcast. I'm sure you've seen, if you look it up, like, you've seen these people, like, you've definitely seen a clip of this, for sure. Esther is one of the girls on this podcast, and she is an Asian lady, and this is why this is all gonna tie in. And as, like, I'm half Asian, I feel like I relate to my Asian side a lot. As, like, I would consider myself, like, an Asian woman. As an Asian woman myself, I feel like I have a unique understanding about how people talk about Asian women. Like, especially, like, because we've talked about this, I came from, like, a very, very, like, white town, so they just felt like it was okay to say these things to my face. So I know how people speak behind closed doors, and I know how, like, Asian women are talked about in the media, and, like, the sexualization of them, how dehumanizing it is. And I just found it so gross and disgusting. Like, this is very complicated to talk about, but I just felt like it was so disgusting that, like, Esther, who is an Asian woman, on this podcast with, like, in a room full of men, spoke about black women in such a disgusting manner that I cannot speak about it on air because I am not allowed to, because safe harbor hours, and it's only 8:17 in the morning. Just the things that she said was so disgusting, and I cannot talk about it, but it has, like, stuff to do with, like, reproductive organs and whatnot. And if you want to look it up and know what she said, like, look it up. If you want to ask me what she said after, ask me. But I just thought it was, like, I was just appalled by the lack of loyalty among other women of color who should understand what it feels like to be, like, dehumanized in that way, and to dehumanize and bring down black women in order to raise herself up and make a few men laugh or think, like, or sexualize her in the way that she wants to be sexualized. And I just feel like the lack of self-awareness is so real, because these guys that she's, like, on the podcast with, that she's, like, friends with, they would 110% talk about her in this way if she was not here, or talk about her in, like, the same disgusting manner when she's not in the room. So doing it for a couple laughs, like, bringing down black women as an Asian woman for a couple laughs, why? Like, just why? And I feel like there should be, like, loyalty there, because you know how it feels like. If I know what it feels like, she definitely knows what it feels like to be, let's just talked about in a gross way. Like, I just feel like, especially when you talk about, like, stuff when it comes to bodies and stuff, no. Okay? No. Just, like, don't do that. Especially, like I said earlier, not on the public platform. Just don't. And don't do it to make yourself, like, feel better. I have no idea. Look better, feel better. I get the sense, I don't know if anyone put this out there, but I get the sense that she had a boyfriend that, like, left her for a black woman and she's just salty about it. Take that up with the man. Don't take that up with, like, the women. I just thought that it was... It just made me very angry. And you know what? I do not know her education, but if you have gone to high school, you have taken biology. So you should know, Oregon-wise, we are all the same. Why she felt the need to make a comment like that, I do not know. I actually do not understand her pattern of thinking. And also, I think she's older. So she's like, what, 27? Your brain is fully developed. You have no excuse. Frontal lobe developed. I have no excuse for you at this point. Okay, girl, I cannot help you. Why you said that, I do not know. I saw so many things on TikTok. So many people were so angry and valid. They're angry for valid reasons. I also, like, would be angry. I'm, like, angry at her, like, as, like, someone who's, like, I'm angry at her. Let's just put that way. I am angry at her. I don't know why she would say that. And it's a bad look on her. It's a bad look on the podcast. It's a bad look on, like, everybody involved. And that's all I have to say on that. Also, I don't like that podcast. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not a fan. And that Viet guy who always has his shirt off for some reason. I went to, like, the Peking Duck boiler room set, like, in the summer. He fell on me. Also, what is up with people falling on me? This has happened. Every time I go to, like, a rave or a boiler room thing, why do people fall on me? Okay? I know that I'm short. On my license, it says 5'5", so we're gonna go with I'm 5'5", okay? Do not bring out a measuring tape. If you bring out a measuring tape to measure my height around me, I'm running away, okay? It says 5'5" on my license, and we're gonna go with that. So I'm, like, I guess short, but I'm not that short, and I always, like, wear heels, so, like, I think people think I'm, like, 5'8", 5'9", because I'm always wearing heels. I was definitely wearing heels at these events. Why are people falling on me? I'm right here. Hello? But yeah, he fell on me. I have a picture. Not a cool guy. He also I think stands at 5'5". And you know what? I don't know why I had to throw a little, like, dig at him, but I did. Anyways, those are my two pop culture things. I know that there was more pop culture that happened this week. I have been busy. I've been on the road. And we're gonna get into that. But first, we're gonna go into our little break. And I went to a Babe Rainbow concert last night. If you guys don't know them, they're like a band that started in 2014. They're school friends. And they're from Australia. And I think they're my favorite artists, like, period. They're definitely my favorite band. I think I could be up there with, like, some of their biggest bands. I saw them 2 years ago when I was a freshman. They were amazing. And I feel like the lead singer, he's kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime performer. And you can, like, when you watch him, you can tell he really feels the music. And he's not afraid to do a little interpretive dance, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he was, like, doing interpretive dancing on stage, but I feel like he was sending out the vibes to the audience. And they were also burning incense, too. So just good vibes all around. And they were being funny, and you could just tell that they've all been, like, school friends. And it was just amazing. And I had an amazing time. Like, the crowd was perfect. The venue was at the Bellwether, LA. The venue was so cool. I felt like I was so close to them. But we're going to play this song that they wrote when they were 14. They said they wrote this when they were only 14. And it's called Something New. And I just love this song. It's actually, like, probably one of my favorite songs of all time. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the music, and we'll be right back.
It's all too soon if broken hearts will hold. It's all for you.
Alright, yappers, we're back from the break. I hope you enjoyed the song. Again, that was Something New by Babe Rainbow, my most favorite band in the entire world. Okay, let's get right into it. We're gonna waste no time at all. My week, in chronological order. I really wish that you guys could see me right now also. First of all, I'm wearing the merch that I got last night. I don't want to talk about it, okay? If I'm gonna buy merch, that's gonna be my PJs, okay? I'm wearing, what's it called? I'm wearing the merch, and I'm also wearing, Christmas pajama pants. I'm wearing Christmas pajama pants, and I don't want to talk about it. And I'm not one of those people who is like really excited to celebrate Christmas. I think that Christmas is in December. We celebrate in December, or at least after Thanksgiving. I'm not an early Christmas celebrator. But I am wearing Christmas pajama pants because they're so comfortable. I've also worn them since the 6th grade, and yes, they do still fit. And maybe that does say something about my height, but I, again, am 5'5" on my license, and I don't want to hear anything about it. Now, my week in chronological order. I'm going to go with, like, bullet points. Quick, run through it. My roommate, who's, like, the most sweet, lovely human being, Sydney, she deserved, she deserved a good party for her 21st, and I feel like it went smoothly. I feel like we accomplished what we needed to accomplish. I feel like it was fun. My, core memory is actually hysterically laughing on the floor of our bathroom. Everything was just so funny. I feel like her laughing made me laugh more. I don't remember what we were laughing about. I sure remember that at one point I was standing and laughing, and then do you know when you laugh so hard you have to sit down? I was laughing so hard that I had to get on the floor and curl into a ball because it was just everything was just so funny. So I feel like, it was on a Tuesday, so it went as good as it could have for a Tuesday. I feel like I killed it with the decorations. If you know, I did it myself. And you know what? To my roommate's boyfriend, who blew up 5 balloons, fine. I'll give you that. You blew up 5. Okay, but I blew up 25, okay, in one sitting. So I feel like, whatever. And then, yeah, and I made some posters and stuff, and I decorated it with, she loves F1, so we did, car stuff, and then she loves Harry Styles, so also Harry Styles stuff. And then I took some creative liberties on on the posters, and again, had to be there. Anyway, so yes, won't go into the details, but I feel like we all had a good time that night. Now, Santa Barbara. I feel like that's next. Things happened during the week, not important. Not gonna be on my bullet point list. Okay, Santa Barbara for less than 24 hours. So I get on a train at 7:30 or something in the morning to go. I get on the train back at 6:30 in the morning. That was an interesting train ride, but I feel like it was so fun. It was so nice to see my childhood friend Harley. Love her the most. It was fun. I went from it was a Halloween thing. Whoa, how many times can you say in one sitting? It's the SoCal in me, guys. I have a chronic SoCal accent. Not my fault. Well, maybe it is, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. That's not what we're here to do. Don't put me on the spot, guys. So, was a cowgirl thing. I'm gonna go with that. That was my costume. Cowgirl thing. Whatever. And, halfway through, we're okay, because the way that UC Santa Barbara works is it's the school, and then right next to it is a neighborhood, and then on weekends every single house is throwing a party, and it's open to all, so you just pop in. We were party hopped, and then I was I'm cold, and Harley was yeah, me too, and we're I just feel kind of I just want to change. And originally I was gonna stay for 2 nights, but then I had to work on Sunday and I couldn't get that off, and also I had a concert to go to Saturday. So originally I was gonna be on night 1 of Santa Barbara Chris from Total Drama Island, and then I was gonna be the cowgirl thing on that second night. Since I was only doing 1 night, I decided to be the cowgirl thing. But you know me, best of both worlds. Halfway through the night, we go back to her friend's house. I changed, draw on a beard, and became Chris from Total Drama Island, and Harley was Gwen and her friend was Lindsay, and I think we killed it. Okay, I think we absolutely killed it. I think it was awesome. And then yes, did I have to walk home in PJs with a beard on my face and my cowboy hat and flip-flops? Yes, I did. But can you think of anything else more, Hannah? I really doubt that you could. But that was so fun. Then get on a train, come back. get back to Irv, finish my little essay, go to Laguna, meet up with my friends. We go to San Diego to watch Baby Rainbow, and I was so excited. Like, and we also were debating, we're like, should we go? Like, we were all really tired. Like, should we go? And we're like, yes, okay, we're gonna go to this concert. Like, we love them. It's been 2 years since we've seen them. They're an Australian band, so we don't know when they're gonna be in the States next. Apparently, they're releasing a new album on, like, 2025, February 14th, Valentine's Day. So, if I don't have plans on Valentine's Day, that's what I'll be doing. And you know what? Honestly, couldn't have it any other way. I'll be listening to the album in full, which is really hard for me. If you know, it's really hard when you have ADHD to sit down and like listen to a full song. But I've been training myself, okay? I've been working hard on that, on not skipping the song after 5 seconds into it. Now, I have in my notes, I'm looking at the monitor right now, and right now it has San Diego dash, and all caps, 2 angry face emojis, and it says, why must I be punished for being youthful? Why must I be, whoa, sorry, I actually just hit the mic with my chin. Why must I be punished for being youthful? Is it my fault that I have just drinking from the fountain of youth and I am only 20? So, if you guys don't know, in the summer me and the same friends went to another concert in San Diego, and they're 21. All I did was hold a beer. I didn't drink it, I just held it, and we got kicked out because I'm 20. Then we come back to this venue, and nowhere on the tickets when we bought them did it say it was 21 and up. I checked, and I'm someone who I always check for that. I will not lie, I do miss details time here and there, but I always check for the age thing. It did not say it anywhere on the tickets that it was 21 and up. So when we get there, my 2 friends go first, and they're both 21, and I hear the bouncer lady go, yeah, it's like a 21 and up venue. I go, oh, poop. Oh, poo-poo. Oh, doo-doo fart. What am I gonna do? And I just hand her my ID because I don't have anything else to give her. And I hope to God that maybe she'll read it wrong, but it does say in bold letters, 21 in 2025. So I'm screwed. Like, no other way to sugarcoat it, I'm screwed. And she's like, oh, you can't come in, you're 20. I was like, yeah, well, I know that, but I figured I'd try anyway. Yes, so we did not go. We did get pizza from, like, I think it's called, like, T&T Pizza in San Diego. It's really good, guys. Go check it out. I recommend it. But me and San Diego just have beef. Like, I love Santa Barbara. I love San Francisco. I hate San Diego. I hate San Diego. I hate it. Because of these 2 experiences, I don't like it. Okay? You know what? And maybe it's cursed because when I was in 4th grade, I saw Taylor Swift in concert there or something. I don't know. I do not like San Diego. I'm not a fan, okay? Why am I being punished for just being so youthful? I'm so sorry. Anyways, so since we got it through like a second source or whatever, we were able to transfer our tickets to their LA show the next day. So we went to the LA show, and I just talked about it. It was amazing. And then after the show, like, riding that high of, like, when you go to a concert, like, after you're just like so happy. After, we're like walking to we're walking to the car, and we see like their bus, and the whole band is like sitting like in front of the bus smoking a cigarette, like, and also if you know what they look like, they just look so 70s and like so cool, and like cigarettes are not cool, guys. Don't smoke, okay? Do not. But I will admit that they looked really, really cool, okay? I will not lie. They look cool. And we just told them, like, please come back to the States soon. Like, we love your music. Like, it's so awesome. And they were so sweet and nice. And, like, they could have easily, like, been rude. But they were so nice. And they're like, I was going to do the Australian accent. Maybe I will not. Maybe I will refrain from that. Sorry to all my Australian baddies out there. So sorry. I will not do the accent. But I remember walking away, and I said to my friend, I was like, we talked to them, and we talked to the cutest one, too, because the guy who plays, like, the lead guitarist, I was like, yes. They're way too old for us, but still, kind of cool. Anyways, yeah, I feel like that I don't know, like, after the San Diego thing, I was, like, trying to remain positive, and I was like, okay, like, there must be a reason why we were not meant to go to this concert, and I think it's because we were meant to go to the LA one because the venue was just so much better and bigger, too, and we got to talk to them after, so I feel like it was just meant to be, and we got there, like, the perfect time, like, right as we enter in, they're, like, playing their first song. It was just amazing, and they, like, ended their set, like, they did an hour set, and then they came out and, like, did a couple more songs, which was just, like, so awesome. Anyways, yes, that's what I have to say about the week. I feel like I could go into more stuff, but it's my show, and I don't want to. Now, right after I said this, I have in my notes, I can feel myself growing into a more leveled person. And I guess what I mean by that kind of ties into, like, the concert being canceled and stuff. I feel like I was really bummed because, like, something similar had happened, like, only 2 months ago. But also I think I handled it pretty well. And I was like, I'm not going to let something as minor as this, like, really impact me. And then we got to transfer tickets and everything was fine. So I think that's what I meant by, like, I can feel myself growing into a more leveled person. I just don't feel as bothered by things that I think would have really impacted my thoughts before. Like, things happen now, and it's things that, like, maybe in the past, or maybe in high school, maybe even like my first year, I think I would have, like, thought about them a lot, and I think it would have really, like, just taken over. And now it's just kind of like, it's not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it anymore to just worry about something that's gonna bring me stress. It's not worth it. And I think that's kind of what I mean by that. I think I can easily, or more easily now, recognize things that are worth it to worry about, and things that just, like, they just aren't. Like, it's really not worth, like, the brain cells I'm going to lose worrying about this stupid thing. Now, this is what I want to talk about. And I feel like, if you guys are friends with me, I'm talking specifically maybe to my, like, female friends, listen closely, because you guys have asked me many questions, and this is what I, like, think of. Don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry, right? You're not supposed to go grocery shopping when you're hungry, right? Don't go out and date and go look for a partner when you're desperate, okay? You're not gonna choose the right person. You're just not. It's gonna be someone bad, it's gonna be someone that doesn't treat you well, or the universe will be like, I told you it's not your time, and it's going to teach you a lesson. And one thing is, those lessons are not always pleasant to go through. So, when it comes to dating, do not grocery shop when you're hungry. Do not date when you're desperate, okay? I think that you have to love yourself more than the need to be loved by other people. And I feel like when you do go out and you date when you're, like, feeling more desperate, I think that you'll choose the wrong people, one, yes, but you'll also find that you change yourself for the wrong person also. And yes, I think in any relationship some change is necessary, but that's, like, positive change. That's growing into, like, a better person, a more emotionally intelligent person, a more caring person, empathetic person, loving person. But this is, like, people where, like, for me, I, like, talk a lot, and I'm kind of loud, and I'm kind of, like, messy, I guess, and you're forgetful sometimes, and I'm not the best speller, but, like, those are things that, like, I've just accepted about myself. I feel like if I, like, chose the wrong person, that'd be somebody who would make me feel bad about those things. And I think that you need to love yourself and accept your flaws and be like, that's just me, like, that's a part of who I am. And the right person would love that. The wrong person would want to change that. And yeah, okay, some of those things I could be, like, being less messy would benefit my life, yes, but me being messy shouldn't, like, cause arguments, if that makes sense. Anyways, so yes, ladies out there, men too, do not go out and date and go look for a partner when you're feeling desperate. And it's so normal also to feel lonely. And I think that I realized this also, like, when I was in Santa Barbara. I was like, I'm so much happier now, like, as my life is right now, than I have ever been when I was in a relationship. Like, I'm genuinely really happy now, okay? And sometimes, still, even though I'm really happy, sometimes I feel lonely. That's so normal. It's so normal to feel lonely. Us as humans, we're like monogamous beings. We're meant to be around other people. Like, we're luckily created this emotion that is love. We're like meant to love people. You're gonna feel lonely, yes. That doesn't mean when in those moments of loneliness, should you download Hinge or Tinder and start swiping? I don't think so. But also, I am a big hater of dating apps. I have never downloaded one. Never will I download one. If you see my pictures on one, that is not me. Okay? I don't believe in them. I just don't. I don't think that that's like I don't feel like those relationships, there's a select few, but I think in general they don't always work out for the best. So I don't really like believe in dating apps, but in those moments of loneliness, I think you need to lean on yourself more than to go out and look for someone else to lean on. And I think now, since I've really grown into a person that I really truly love, and I've like accepted a lot of my flaws, and of course, I don't love myself all the time. No one does. There's gonna be moments where like I look in the mirror and I like don't like love what I see back, or like I do something, or I react in some way, or I give a negative emotional response, and I'm like, why did I do that? I'm not gonna love myself 100% of the time, but I think I love myself the majority of the time. And since I've become someone who I found a lot of just company within myself, I know that the next partner that I choose to enter my happiness will just add on to it. That they won't be my happiness, and I think that they're gonna be a better person and create a more long-lasting connection. And also, I think because of that, I wrote in my notes, like, I'm not scared to be hurt anymore. And I think a lot of the times before in the past, I think a lot of people can relate to this, where you're just so scared to date somebody because you're just so scared that you're going to be hurt again. And I think I have a lot of confidence in myself that I'm not going to choose people that make me feel icky. Like, when I encounter somebody, if I feel icky after like a conversation with them, or if I see them text me and I'm like, ugh, I feel icky, or like I text them and like they don't reply fast and I like feel weird about it, I'm not gonna pick that person anymore. I'm not going to try to mold myself to gain their approval. I don't care. I'm not gonna choose people where I feel icky. I think the next relationship that I do choose to be in, let's say it ends, I think I'll be thankful for the time they spent in my life, and not everyone's meant to stay in your life forever. I don't think I'll choose someone that would do something wrong. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but I think I just trust myself in my decision making more. And once I feel that icky feeling when like talking to somebody, I'm just gonna cut it off, because I don't need that in my life, and I don't need that energy surrounding me. And one thing about college is not everyone in college is going to be for you, whether that goes for relationships or friendships. There's so many different people from so many different backgrounds. I do think like similarity is important in relationships, but also opposites attract, all that good stuff. But not everybody is going to be for you, and that's so okay. And some people I know, like, sometimes I meet somebody and they're nice, and like, I'm not even talking about relationship wise, like friendship wise, and they're nice and they're great. Do I want to be friends with them? No. Does that mean I don't like them? No. Like, I think they're a fine person. I just don't vibe with them. And I'm sure there's people who meet me and they're like, I don't like that person fundamentally. Don't hate them, just don't like them. That's so okay. That's so fine. And don't take it personally. Just not everyone's going to be for you, and you're not going to be for everyone. But so I've given some advice in the past on this show, and I would like to talk on it. So I've said before that I think it's really important to be like pretty transparent in a relationship, or when you're entering a relationship, about like what you want. Like, if you want to I don't like saying situationship, so I'm gonna say like if you want to just have a thing and keep it casual, like there's nothing wrong with just having fun, so okay. I think it's really important that you're open with like the other person, like in that connection with you, with like what you want, what you're looking for. If you want a relationship, I think it's also important to mention, be like, hey, like I'm looking for something more serious, like an actual tangible relationship, like the labels and all that. I think that's really important also. I do not mean when I say that, when you meet somebody for the first time, to be like, I'm dating to get married, okay, and if you don't want kids with me, and you don't want this, and this, then I'm not going to talk to you, and I'm going to block you. That's not what I meant. When I said all the other stuff in past episodes, I did not mean that. You can bring it up in more casual ways. You also can hang out for like a month or two and then bring it up. You don't have to bring it up on like the first couple dates, you know? Also, I think if you really vibe with a person and you actually like connect on a deeper level, like past just like the physical attractiveness, I think you'll know like kind of what the vibes are. I think that ladies, guys, if you're in a situationship and you're confused, I think you always know deep down, like your gut always knows. So I think you just need to like listen to your subconscious, listen to your gut feeling, and go with that. Because usually like 9 times out of 10, that's usually right. That's just kind of like my opinion. Also, I want to add this. If you don't feel pretty with someone, or handsome, or hey, let's just say it, hot, leave, okay? Just leave. Why are you trying to be with somebody that you don't even feel attractive around? Why? I do not understand. Also, I feel like there's such thing as boyfriend air, where like you look so pretty and then you go hang out with your boyfriend and for some reason you come back looking like a crackhead. There is such thing as boyfriend air. But there's another thing where when someone's not right for you, you'll get ready, you'll do everything you usually do when you get ready, but for some reason, like, it's just off. Like, your makeup's cakey and cracked, or, men, I really do not know your getting ready process, but your hair is just not laying the way it usually does, or something, like, doesn't fit the way it does, or something's just off. I really think that that's, like, a thing. If someone's not right for you, you're just not gonna feel your best or look your best when you're with them. Like, something's just gonna be kind of slightly off, a little bit to where you can't really tell, but also just enough where you can just feel it, if that makes sense. I think it's so okay to understand that, like, I don't think it's cocky to say, like, as a woman or as a man, be like, I'm too pretty, or I'm too handsome, too cool, too smart, too funny, like, the full package to be treated like in a certain way that you're not okay with. I think it's so okay to acknowledge that. And if you're not obsessed with yourself, I don't see how you could ever expect someone else to be obsessed with you. So I think it's really okay to walk away, guys. It's so okay to just walk away. Now, I don't want to make the first move anymore. I don't want to do it, okay? I am not a man, okay? I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I am just a girl. I don't want to do it, okay? So I'm not going to. Okay, maybe that makes me a brat. Brat Summer. I'm not going to. I don't want to. Period. I don't want to. What's that? Imagine me fist balled up, stomping on the ground. I don't want to, okay? Ugh. And I always have so much to say, and then I always run out of time. Because I'm a yapper. And I go on stupid tangents that mean absolutely nothing. But 2 things, and then we're done, okay? And then we're out of here, and I'll let you go for my lecture. But I would be the worst professor. I would keep those students in the class forever. I would be the worst professor ever. But I always say, like, my show is called I'm Just a Girl. But every time I write it down on paper or anything, I always put it in quotes, like, I'm just a girl. But I think it's because, also, if you're a guy who listens to the show, you're also just a girl, okay? You're in the I'm Just a Girl family. Like, we all can be just girlies together, okay? It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy. We're all just girls. But I always put it in quotes because, obviously, like, we're not just girls. We're so much more than that. We're women. No, okay? Not like that. But you know what I mean? Like, we're more than, like, just girls, obviously. But I just want to add that out there. Like, I always put, like, oh, I'm just a girl. But it's, like, ironic, okay? It's ironic, because we're more than that. And also, it's kind of an excuse. Sometimes when I do something wrong, I go, oh well, I'm just a girl. Or, my nickname around the house is Hannah the Destroyer because I break things a lot. Okay, I'm just kind of clumsy. And then I go, I'm just a girl. And what can you say? Now, what I want to leave you guys off with, last thing. Go outside today. If you're at UCI, go in Aldrich Park. Sit down, sit in the sun, bask in the sun. Look around, look at the trees, look around at everything. Look around at what was here before you, take it in, and understand, and look around and look at what's going to be there after you. And I think that it'll really ground you in yourself and in your reality, but in a beautiful way. Don't do it in a daunting, scary way, because I know it could go either way. But that's what I want to leave you guys off with. I also want to leave you guys off with a little song. I want to leave you guys off with Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel. I think it's a really awesome song, and Babe Rainbow covered it last night, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. So, thank you so much for yapping with me, yappers, and I'll see you next time.
Stuck in